Bruce, what do you think about tonight's game? What do you think here?
I picked Clemson in the preseason. I'm sticking with it,
Look
Rich.
at you.
I'm actually even more confident in Clemson than I was a week ago.
Why is that?
I think, Deshaun Watson lit this Alabama defense, or a lot of these guys, up last year, and that was without Mike Williams, who's their best receiver. He missed most of last season with a neck injury. He's back. Alabama's traditionally struggled against really good dual-threat quarterbacks, but also against guys with big receivers. We saw it whether it was Mike Evans at Texas A&M or Laquan Treadwell at Ole Miss. And their philosophy is basically, you're not going to grind out a 10 and 12 and a 15-play drive against Alabama, but you can hit them with some big shots. Also, they're really good up front defensively. Now, I don't think they're quite as good in the secondary as Washington was, but they're more aggressive and they're more physical and they're more talented than the Huskies were. And I definitely think Deshaun Watson's a lot better than Jake Browning, and I'm curious to see how Jalen Hurts, the Alabama's true freshman quarterback, is going to hold up. I mean, at some point, I think they're going to have to make some more plays downfield against this team, and we'll see if he can do it. I'm not so sure.
Well, what about the Sarkisian aspect of this? The fact that he's now calling the plays. Does that mean a bunch of Bo Scarborough? Is that what that means, Bruce?
Yeah, maybe it means it more than that than if Lane was doing it, because Lane seemed to be early on reluctant to just feed the guy. People forget that, or a lot of people forget that Sark has coached in huge games and national title games and has been a play caller and everything. I don't think he's going to get nervous. But, it was interesting the other day when he has to do media, the media day, and he's getting asked all these questions that are USC related just because of, the very public circumstances of his private life. And I thought he handled it well, and how he addressed it just from a standpoint of his biggest objective there wasn't to please anybody necessarily in the media, guys like us. It was more, you know what, I'm going to be honest, but I'm also going to try to make sure I do not create any more distraction or become the story, much the way Lane Kiffin was last week.
And so how does it all come out in the wash tonight on the offensive side of the football for Alabama, Bruce?
Well, he's got the challenge because he's got the quite honestly, Jalen Hurts had said he really didn't even know who Steve Sarkisian was when he got there, or for much of the year, because Steve Sarkisian could, be involved in film breakdown and the game planning, but when it came to actually the coaching the players as an analyst in that role, you're not allowed to do it. So it's been a little bit of a crash course to establish those relationships. I think his biggest challenge isn't going to be just getting back into the swing of things, being the play caller from the field. I think his biggest challenge is going to be Clemson's defensive line is really, really good, and it's better than anything Alabama's seen this year outside of what they see at practice every day.
Tonight, we're watching Dabo Swinney hoist the trophy and pick confetti out of his hair. You think that's going to go?
It's the one thing Clemson has not done. He's built it from, before people were making jokes about Clemsoning and a derogatory term that was, and they put that to rest a few years ago. And they put Steve Spurrier and beat him and did everything they can. This is the one thing they haven't done. They were close last year. I think tonight they get over the top.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.